And welcome everybody to another episode of the Area 210 podcast. Mike is running a little late today, so we got some things to talk about. Woke up to the news of one Kawhi Leonard, Steve Balmer, trying to beat the NBA salary cap. And they also got news of the college football poll being released today. And we also will be talking about some Gina Ortiz-Jones, as I did see her live as well as everybody else did yesterday on KSAT 12, as she was talking about her anti-Project Marvel campaign once again. A lot of news coming through today. We're on the eve of the NFL season kicking off. What's up, Sam Salinas? Mike will be joining. He's just going to be a few minutes late here. Got a lot of things to talk about, though. Tell Gina to shut up. Yeah. For real, man. Gina Ortiz-Jones was on one yesterday, man. She's just looking for ways to stop the progression of one Project Marvel. She's going to use a lot of dirty, underhanded things that you can already see happening, including flood reports, all sorts of stuff to spin the narrative in favor of not having Project Marvel go through. You can see that that's already happening. It's going to be the Spurs versus Gina Ortiz-Jones. Unfortunately, the voters are going to be the ones that are stuck in the middle of this nonsense. Mike will be here in a bit. He's running a little late. Is Mike in a meeting with Balmer? Probably.
Area 210, where the dreams don't fade. From the river walk nights to the Alamo shade. We rise together through the highs and the lows. Area 210, oh, it's the life that we chose.
And good morning, everybody. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to another episode of the Area 210 podcast. I'm your host here today, Joe Garcia. I am waiting on one Miguelito. He's running a little late. So we're going to go ahead and have him join us about 10:15, somewhere around there. But as I was stating earlier to you guys, thank you, everybody, for joining us here in the chat. We appreciate our normal Necio showing up. Sam Salinas in the house. Necio drummer Matt Gomez in the house. We got Joy Con Drift King. Thank you so much. Telling Gina to shut up. I like that. And we also have Matt Lerma joining us as well. Chris Gonzalez in the house. Thank you, boys, for joining us. Howard Lopez. Yeah, it is, Matt Lerma. He says it's a good time to be a Spurs fan. Kawhi crashing out, or Cash crashing out, yeah. He's in some hot water, and so is Steve Ballmer, owner of the Clippers. Necio Drummer says, Gina, have you caught her last night, man? She was on one on KSAT 12. They had her talking about Project Marvel and all that. And she gave a shout out to John Jay at the end. I saw that. Oh, yeah. Like the video, like Matt Lermer says, it helps us grow. What's up, Jason Garcia? Thank you for joining us all the way from the Pacific Northwest over from beautiful Portland, Oregon. JHNSB. Kawhi is crashing out. Kawhi making all this news today, man. I woke up, I'm already here looking at the X, looking at things to go ahead and talk about on the show. And as I'm scouring the X and social media to look for various topics, what do I see blowing up my feed? And I saw this, and I got to give a shout out to JC from Olea. It's an olive leaf tree company. And we're going to have JC come on so he can talk about that because it is healthy for you. You can get that special olive leaf drink in your life there. But when I woke up today, I look at the X and then I see JC, first guy out there, man, posting this. And it was, I found this way of JC, but it's coming from the Pablo Torre Finds Out podcast or a live stream that he's been doing. And he went through great lengths to find out that Kawhi Leonard and Steve Ballmer are trying to circumvent or beat the NBA salary cap. So basically what's going on is that they started a fraudulent tree planting company funded by $50 million of the Clippers owner here, Steve Ballmer, according to the documents obtained by Pablo Torre. As he outlines all the documentation and whatnot, he basically when it's set up to go ahead and pay Kawhi Leonard an additional $28 million on top of what he's already getting as his normal NBA salary. The reason that this is so eye opening is it's a way to circumvent or beat the NBA salary cap. Now, this is something that he did find out, but it's not going to be to anybody's surprise that I bet you more and more, let's say, NBA owners are doing this as well. How many of their star athletes are also getting paid to no show? And this is something that I think is just going to start a firestorm here. I'm sure the NBA will investigate it and whatnot. But as you dig deeper into the story and you look at the video, which is out there, and I'll show you guys the video right now. Let me go ahead and show this on screen. There you go. He was getting paid $28 million to basically no show. So, of course, this is going to catch some eyes here. But you have to look in the context of what this is all about. And as again, I said, this is about circumventing or trying to beat the NBA salary cap. So not only was, Pablo Torre's story, hot today. I mean, everybody's talking about it. You have Kevin O'Connor talking about that as well. I mean, I even saw Mark Stein chiming in. Some people are still wanting to go ahead and get more information in regards to this. But they were also talking about fines. If you go ahead and get found out, what are your offenses? What are going to be the implications because of this? NBA salary cap circumventions. These are the fines. Fine of up to $4.5 million for the first offense. Fine of up to $5.5 million for the second offense. Loss of a first round pick. The possibility of voiding contracts that involve circumvention. That's the possibility of what the NBA can do as far as the offensives. Now, if you get Silver in the mix here and they do an investigation and whatnot, I'm sure there's going to be more than just, 4.5 or $5.5 million fines coming around. You're probably looking at maybe suspension of said player. But the thing is that it's funny, though, because when you think about it, Kawhi Leonard is getting paid to no show for two jobs. One, being an NBA player with the Clippers, doesn't really play a lot. He's a part-time player, so he's getting paid to no show for that. And he's getting paid to no show for this fraudulent tree planting company, funded by Steve Balmer to the tune of $28 million. So Kawhi is, even though, this is an underhanded scheme here, he's getting paid nonetheless. And I'm sure Uncle Dennis had a lot to say about this. So let's go ahead and look and see what some of you guys are saying. It says, hey, Joe, can you get the display names on rather than the handles? Easier to do at people that way. Yeah. And let's see. Mike's parents should have named him Hector to call him Tito for short. Then we could all say Mijito. No, when he's late, we call him Miguelito. And Chris Leja, no, hombre, call him Pelon. By Kawhi. They're saying karma is a bee. They planted money trees. How clever. Dracon Driftkey. It's probably been happening for years, like college athletes getting paid under the table before the NIL deal. Yeah, I mean, it's been happening for years. It's just a clever way to go ahead and beat the NBA salary cap. I mean, this isn't, to me, it's not groundbreaking news, but now you have the paper trail to go ahead and kind of put two to two together. I think really that's the big news coming out today. I'm sure they're going to be talking about it on the 4-letter networks and everywhere across the airwaves all over the United States and around the world, when they more and more people start seeing the information presented to them. I mean, everybody was quick with it. I barely saw it, and then boom, it just blew up. So thanks to JC again for adding me on X to that conversation. Hanover Fist said, I wish I got paid to no show. No shit, dude. I wish I did too. I'm tired, man. Matt Lerma, dang, Mike, late as fuck. Yep, always. And Chris Leja doesn't show up for the NBA games, doesn't show up for events. Hey, man, say less. He's getting paid to no show. Kawhi Leonard is. And look at Don Harris said Kawhi has 2 no-show jobs. Hey, he's not lying, man. Like I said, he does have 2 no-show jobs. He no-shows for these regular work day job as being an NBA player, and then he doesn't show up for his fraudulent job for this, ill-advised fake tree planting company here that that you couldn't pay $28 million for. And Kawhi Leonard made a tree and a leaf. I wonder how much Ben Simmons gets paid to no show. Y'all are on one today, man. Thank you for that. I appreciate y'all. And also the chat that you boys are using today, that is powered by Special Leaf. So, especially powered by PF Chang's. I'm thinking about JC and his rebrand there. Sorry about that. It's powered by PF Chang's at La Cantera. Today is Wednesday, so today is Wine's Day. So you get half off all bottles of wine and champagne all day, every day on Wednesday. So you can go in there and tell Sean Quintero at the Area 210 sent you. So shout out to PF Chang's again. Go ahead and go visit Sean at the PF Chang's at La Cantera location. Yeah, so we also have some things that we're going to talk about later on in the show today when Mike finally decides to join us, Miguelito. We're going to talk about the latest college football AP polls that came out, and we're going to go ahead and look to see how far did the Texas Longhorns fall against their loss against Ohio State there, as they were number one for 1 week only, and they have really fallen in the rankings there. We got to do something else too. We got to pour some out, man. A grito's in order here. I saw this earlier before the show started, and we just got a whole bunch of news breaking today. And this one has got to pour some out for the OG, man. Rip Stream East. If you know, you know. Stream East has been officially shut down, so you're going to have to look somewhere else to go ahead and get your illegal streams for anything from NBA to NFL games, pay-per-view boxing matches, UFC, you name it. You're going to have to look for another streaming site to go ahead and get your offerings there, because Stream East is no more. It's gone bye-bye. So we got to go ahead and give a grito shout out there to Stream East because the feds finally shut them down. I'm going to give them the old man grito.
Presumir a mis amigos les conté que en el amor.
And here's the thing. They've been trying to shut down Stream East for quite some time. I know the Homeland Security Investigations, which is under the Department of Homeland Security, had shut down the servers here in the States, but there were still servers all over the world that needed to be shut down. And it looks like that has finally happened. And Stream East is no more, but there's going to be other fairings out there. I mean, I know, I'm not going to say the names of the other sites because, again, if y'all want to keep on, let's say, using these sites to go ahead and stream your pay-per-view sporting events, it's best to keep that to yourself. And I think that was the killer with Stream East, is that everybody was going on the X, social media everywhere, and just dropping the name like it was nothing. Like if you wanted to keep something, you wanted to keep it secret. Don't go out and tell everybody about it or where to go find it. And I think that was it. It just had a huge social media following to the tune of $106 billion combined visits, or 106 billion combined visits, should I say, over the past year. And they were providing free global access to a lot of the pay-per-view events around the world. So unfortunately, pour some out for Stream East. They are no more. They're gone. What's their name? Gone. So if you all know some other sites, y'all are going to have to go ahead and keep that quiet. Maybe we got to start a private chat to go ahead and share our links. And that way we can keep on watching our boxing matches and our UFC fights. Oh, let's go ahead and see what you boys are saying in the chat today. No Jimenez today. Did he forget his purse at home? No, he says he's on a work call, but I think secretly he might not be even joining us today at all. So I might have to just go it solo. JHNSB says, I guess we were paying Sohan to no show. You're paying Wemby to no show. You're paying Wemby to no show. It says, is MJ government name really Miguel? It's Miguelito. Who called it? Oh, God. Terrible news. Good thing we have backups. You do have backups. That's what I'm saying, man. If you have the backups, keep it to yourself. If you want to go ahead and share the news, maybe DM somebody, if it's your buddy or whatever, Let them know where they can go ahead and see their pay-per-view offerings now, but don't outright just go and say, hey, you can check it out here to anybody, to any known person on X. People are watching. That's all I'm saying. Is Mike's girlfriend putting on his makeup? Where's Jimenez? Jimenez is going to be late today. He's running a bit late, so we're going to go ahead and see if I can get him on. I'm going to reach out to him right now. So I'll go ahead and play a quick video for PF Chang's while I am busy behind the scenes trying to see if I can get a hold of Jimenez here. So we'll be back, boys. PF Chang's La Cantera, San Antonio's premier destination for dinner, date night, or happy hour. Enjoy one of their signature dishes, such as the Singapore street noodles, sesame chicken, or Chang's spicy chicken, or their infamous Chang's chicken lettuce wraps, which are delicious, by the way. You can enjoy all this while you're dining in an Asian-inspired atmosphere. And make sure to enjoy the new outdoor patio and try some of PF Chang's signature cocktails and drinks during happy hour, Monday through Friday from 3 to 6 p.m. PF Chang's La Cantera is a proud sponsor of the Area 210 podcast. Again, go ahead and give a shout out here to PF Chang's La Cantera. They are powering the chat here, and they also have, like I said, special drinks all day, every day on Wednesday. You can go ahead and get your half off bottles of wine and champagne every day, all day, every day on Wednesdays. Make sure you go and say to Sean Quintero that the Area 210 sent you. So let's go ahead and start getting into some discussions here, because again, we just went ahead and said that we had, we said rip to Stream East here. Hey, what's up, man? What's up, Sith Elias here? He's over here with his show, Plead the Sith. Make sure you go and find that. Call Jeff Garcia and see if he will come on camera. Hombre. Leave Jeff alone, yeah. I said I'm going to the Weeknd's last show, my favorite artist. Well, good to you, good on you, man. But I know the Weeknd was crying over there because his show was coming to an end. I think he was over in Houston, if I remember, not too long ago, or he will be in Houston, something like that. So good on you. Enjoy yourself, Elias. You work hard, brother. So let's go ahead and get into some of the discussions. Like I was saying, we're on the eve of the NFL season kicking off here. We got the Cowboys and Eagles going to be starting off on Thursday Night Football. I'm predicting that the Eagles will best the Cowboys. You can go ahead and give me your predictions. How bad will the Cowboys lose against the Eagles tomorrow? Because the Eagles are now favored by 8.5, gone up 1 point since yesterday. I don't doubt it, man. I don't doubt it. I'd go with that. I think the Eagles are just going to decimate the Cowboys. I think the Cowboys are just going to have a poor showing, as Dak has not really thrown the ball too much in the preseason at all. I mean, he might have been practicing on the field with the fellas, but in the context of a game scenario, this is going to be it for him. He's going to have a lot of rust. He's going to have to shake that off. I think that the Cowboys are going to look really slow, methodical, and just the offense isn't going to be where it needs to be at, playing against the caliber team as the Eagles. Oh, we got an incoming super chat here from Jason.
Money talk. Here comes the money.
There he is. He says, happy NFL Eve to you and yours. I know he's a Seahawks fan, the Sea Chickens. So hopefully you all have a good season. And over Fizz, 38-0 Cowboys. No, bro. If it's already like 21-0 by halftime, I mean, come on, dude. You know it's over. Now here we go. Mario says, I think it'll be close because the Cowboys offense will put up points this season. No, bro. We'll see if that's going to be true. They got a new coach. I was hopeful that maybe some things would happen with new leadership out there, but you still got the same caliber of players out there with a handful of new additions. I don't know how well the Cowboys offensive line and defensive lines are going to be able to hold up. Specifically, how are they going to be able to stop the run? We don't know how well the receivers are going to work back to back there. You mean you got CD and the other guy that they just picked up as well, Pickens. Let's see how that dynamic works with Dak. Dak is the big question mark here. To me, Dak is going to be the one that's going to dictate how well the Cowboys will play on field. I mean, you need to rely on your quarterback. Dak is notoriously, if you look at the statistics that are presented to you, it doesn't fare so bad in the regular season. But the problem is that you need Dak to be consistent game in and game out. We don't really get that consistency. He'll look good against poor teams, but then when the Cowboys play teams with a winning record, they kind of shit the bed, and they're going to be playing the Eagles. I mean, Eagles have a winning record. I expect the Cowboys to do much of the same. And we got an incoming super chat here from the Drew Show.
Money talk. Here comes the money.
Drew Show, he says, naming your no show landscaping company KL2 Aspire LLC is self snitching. It's an Uncle Dennis scheme for sure. Suspend 1 year and lose first round picks. I don't know if the NBA is going to wind up doing that. First, they got to go ahead and prove it, which, they already got the paper trail right there. If you're looking at that podcast where the news broke, they outlined everything there as far as the LLC and, Balmer and everything, all the implications. And that was a really good job that he did too, by the way, because I had to say he put in some thought, really looking at that paper trail and seeing where it leads. You just go follow the trail of the money. So again, if you all want to see that, it's on the Pablo Torre Finds Out podcast there, and you can follow that, or you can find him on the X at Pablo Finds Out. So go ahead and check that out. Puro pinche Cowboys a la verga. No, bro, it's going to be that on Thursday. How Cowboy fans going to be walking into the office? They're going to hold their heads high, or they're going to be looking down. That's what we're going to see. And look who joined us. Miguelito's in the house.
Yes, sir. What's going on?
Doing good. We were talking about the news that was breaking here with Kawhi and Steve Ballmer. I don't know if you saw that, but we're talking about that. And I was saying what we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about the latest college AP poll. We're on the eve of the start of the NFL season. Cowboys going to be kicking it off with the Eagles. Everybody's saying the Cowboys are going to get decimated. Some say that the Cowboys are going to have a close game. I think they're going to get absolutely trounced. It's going to be 21-0 by halftime, and that's all she wrote, Mike. It can be a long day for Cowboy fan.
I don't know, man. I found that to be interesting. I posted that clip on Twitter yesterday about how I'm more optimistic for the Cowboys this week. I'm not saying for the year, because I think for the year the Cowboys are going to go 5-12, 6-11, somewhere around there. But for some reason, this week, this Thursday, tomorrow, I'm a little bit optimistic for your Cowboys. I don't think the Eagles' defense is ready yet.
Well, neither is the Cowboys' offense. Dak hasn't thrown a football in the context of a real game scenario. If he throws the first pass that he throws, and it's a pick six going the other way, I'm like, oh man, I'm done.
Well, okay. First of all, I'm hoping that you're right, because at heart I'm a Cowboy hater, but just the gambling man in me, I just think that the Eagles are going to take a step back this year. And I'm not saying that the Cowboys are better than the Eagles. I'm just saying Dak does well in Philadelphia. Dak has a winning record against Philadelphia. It's just one of those things where I look at the Cowboys thinking to myself, this is a ripe for the taking type of thing. I think the Eagles win the game, right? If I had to bet money on the money line, the Eagles take the game. 8-point spread, I'll take the points.
They're favored now by 8.5.
8.5? Give me the points. That's the biggest spread in all the NFL. And it's funny because I saw this guy at Houston Sports Talk Radio this morning talking about the last time the Cowboys had this big of an odd to win the Super Bowl, like 50-1 odds or whatever it is. They actually went 12-4 that year. So you never know. You never know what's going to happen. Drew Show coming in with a $10 super chat.
Money talk. Here comes the money.
Drew says Joe Smith with the Timberwolves was paid under the table. He was suspended and his contract voided. No ball or not, fools. Sure, prove it. It's established law, so to speak. Minnesota lost picks. Interesting. Joe Smith, man, that was a good player back in the day, man. But there are shady deals that go on. Being paid under the table, whether that be in the NBA. College football for many, many years was paid under the table for a lot of different things, man. But Joe, what did I miss? And I apologize though for those of you who jumped on. I had a prospective client that I had been waiting all day yesterday to talk to. But it got delayed. I was thinking to myself, well, I'll talk to them later on today. They called right before the show started, and it was a big case that I've been working on. So I apologize for that. And I got everything situated and in good order. So I apologize, man. But I want to give some predictions, Joe. NFL season upon us.
Yeah, yeah.
Who do we like, Joe? Because I'm looking at and I think that we got to put it on Twitter. We got to put pen to paper. Not one of those things where go check the tape. I think we need to go on Twitter today and make our predictions, because my predictions are the Commanders win the NFC East. Give me the Lions in the North. Give me I'm going to go left of center here. I'm going to go Panthers in the South. The West. God, man, what a crap storm. Like the West, every team's going to finish 9 and 8 or 8 or 9, right? But I suppose the Rams are hurt. I don't trust Kyler Murray for anything, though he has a lot of better weapons these days than years past. Brock Purdy without Deebo Samuel. I'm going to hold my nose and maybe say St. Louis. I mean the St. Louis, San Francisco. AFC, Bills, Bengals, Ravens, and who gives a crap about the other division? What would that be? The Chargers, the Chiefs. So, Joe, I joked about it last week. I am cheering for an LSU bowl, an LSU Super Bowl. Give me the Commanders with Jaden Daniels, rather, and give me the Bengals with Joe Burrow. Burrow versus Daniels. Make it so, Joe.
I don't know, man. I'll give you my predictions. Out of the NFC South, I got the Buccaneers coming out of that. NFC North, Lions. So what are you going to say about the Buccaneers?
I like the Buccaneers. I'm a Baker Mayfield fan, dude. To see
you trust the Falcons? Do you trust the Falcons?
No,
absolutely not.
I don't. I don't trust their coaching. I don't trust anything like that. I just think that as Jeff Garcia from Locked On Spurs likes to use the phrase "feeling froggy."
Yeah,
I kind of feel like the Panthers are that one team in the NFC that's going to take a jump. I don't know what it is. I like how their roster's coming together. Offensive line's getting a little bit better. Not saying that's a good team. Whoever gets 9 wins is going to win that division, and it could be the Bucks. But Evans is going to get old. Evans is going to be old at some point. The skill position players are getting older for the Bucks. I'm just saying they're not the runaway favorites of the NFC South. No one really is.
No, but I think at the end of the day, when everything settles, I think the Buccaneers will do enough to come out victorious and lead the NFC South. Lions, I have them absolutely being the victors of the NFC North. And now when it comes to the NFC West, that's a shit show. Do you believe the Cardinals? Absolutely not. 49ers, they're not the same team they used to be.
They're not.
Rams, they're always injured.
Yep.
What does that tell you? I'd have to go with the Seahawks. I'd have to go with the Seahawks. The Seahawks aren't a bad team at all, and I think they're going to have a better showing this season. I think they're going to be coming out of the NFC West. Now, NFC East, Cowboys got no shot, bro. Come on.
No, they don't.
No shot. So I'm not even going to put them in the discussion. The Giants, no, not at all. It's basically Eagles Commanders.
Well, let me ask you this question about the Giants. I mean, they're not a very good team, but can you picture the Giants getting a little bit frisky? Can you picture the Giants effing around and winning some games that they're not supposed to? Can you picture Malik Neighbors balling out for that team and suddenly they're better than advertised? Because I can see it.
I can't see it, man.
I'm not saying 10 wins, but what were they last year? How many wins did they get last year? Like 4 or 5 wins last year?
4 or 5, yeah.
I don't know, Joe. I'm looking at them.
I think they could be. I think what they'll do is they'll probably be a game or two behind the Cowboys. they're going to keep that race between them and the Cowboys interesting, but it's going to be a shit show because neither team is going to wind up getting into a wild card or going and sniffing the playoffs. It's
Not
going to
that it
be
matters.
moral victories. Moral victories is all it is at this
Not
point.
that it matters, but they won every single preseason game.
Yeah, like that doesn't matter at all. But coming out
Well,
of the NFC East,
look at their
I got
roster,
the
Joe.
Eagles.
Look at their roster, Joe. Their roster at quarterback, Russell Wilson.
Yeah.
Okay, I mean, he's the best quarterback they've had in a
Let's
while.
ride. Come
That's
on,
right.
man. No, dude.
Malik Neighbors, Darius Slayton, Wandale Robinson. I mean, Devin Singletary is the backup running back as RB2. I mean, I'm just saying that this is the best roster they've had in a little while. We have a super chat coming in from Jason Garcia.
Jason Garcia, here we go.
Here comes the money.
He goes, new school grito for Joe's NFC West pick. I got to go with your Seahawks, man. They're not a bad team. They're well put together, well coached, got a decent quarterback. I mean, they play hard, dude, every single game. So that's going to account for something. I think they're just, when you look at it at the end of the day, out of the NFC West, should I say, NFC West, NFC West, Seahawks are the best team to come out of that division. And I'll go ahead and play the new school grito for Jason because he paid for it.
¡Viva México, cabrones!
The dog makes it all, Joe. I mean, it's the dog at the end. Sam Darnold did leave Minnesota to a 14-3 record last year. They got bounced in the first round of the playoffs, but it is a new system. It is a new quarterback, and that's why I'm hesitant about picking Seattle. I'm hesitant about every team in the NFC West. NFC West, the Niners, Brock Purdy was hurt most of last year. McCaffrey was hurt. Deebo Samuel's gone. They lost a lot of players on defense. But can they have enough talent to get to 9 or 10 victories?
Look,
you know
man,
what, Joe?
Defense counts for something, Mike. Right?
It does, Joe.
Giants defense is better than the Cowboys defense on paper, right?
You know what I'm talking myself into, though, Joe?
What?
Arizona.
Oh, bro.
Can you imagine?
They're Fuchs gold, Mike. Come on.
They finished strong last year.
No.
Arizona Cardinals. I mean, come on.
Fool's gold, dude.
Marvin Harrison Jr., if he turns out to be the truth, I mean, that's
no.
If they have a stud receiver in him,
that's a dark horse team, dude. They ain't gonna do nothing, dude.
James Conner's not a bad RB1. Zay Jones. God, that whole division sucks, Joe. I feel dirty talking about the NFC West. The
Niners
NFC
suck, dude.
Which is the worst division? NFC West or NFC South?
God, no, NFC West or East. I mean, there's not really much. You got the cream of the crop, and that's about it.
Well, the South to me is at least fun. I'll watch a Carolina Atlanta game because there'll be fireworks and it'll go off like crazy. But the NFC West, it's gonna be a 305. The 305 games, Joe. I ain't gonna give two craps on what's on Fox.
You know what the NFC West is? It's the dirty, stinky diaper in the HEB parking lot, bro. That's what that is. It stinks. It stinks.
Joe, I keep looking at that line. Cincinnati 5-point favorite over Browns. I really want to go just take out a loan and just put it all in.
Ask Chica for some allowance money.
oh, dude, I had to earlier today. Oh my God. So Chica, I was talking about fantasy sports, and she goes, "You're not gonna do fantasy sports, are you?" I'm like, "Why?" She goes, "That's so lame." And I said, well, I don't know if you knew this about me, but I used to host a radio show about fantasy football, and I was big in fantasy football for 20 years. And she goes, "Well, you didn't play last year, did you?" And I said, "No, it was the first time in 20 years I hadn't played because I was out chasing you. I was out driving every weekend from San Antonio to Conroe to go see you. And all that stuff. I didn't do fantasy last year." So she has never seen me as a fantasy football guy because she thought I didn't do it because I didn't do it last year because I was out pursuing her instead of talking with my friends about, fantasy, this, and the other. So I missed out on so many drafts because we were in Miami. I missed out on so many drafts because of various
Yeah.
things. But I told her I got invited into one that has a draft tonight on Zoom. So I told her, I said, babe, I'm going to be out tonight, 6 to 7:30. We're going to have a draft on Zoom. And she just gave me a look of like,
Ew.
fantasy. It was almost like I told her I watched wrestling. That would have given her the same reaction. Sorry, Joe.
Wrestling is good, man. I don't know what you're talking about, dude.
No,
Who's talking shit at wrestling?
women hear guys watch wrestling and give the stink eye, Joe. I'm sorry.
No, I've been watching wrestling since I was a kid, and I'm going to continue to watch wrestling. And a lot of other people in the chat here watch wrestling as well. I mean,
Chris Gonzalez saying Chico's starting to become a hater.
yeah, she's starting to hate it. And we got an incoming super chat we got to address.
Here comes the
And
money.
Mario Cavazos, he says, will the Madden curse continue? Barkley injury.
Again?
The NFC South is the Susia you see at the corner.
All right, Joe. So let me ask you this, Joe. Who would you rather see in the Super Bowl this upcoming year? If I gave you 4 teams in the AFC,
Okay.
Chiefs, Buffalo, Bengals, or the Ravens, who would you rather see coming out of the
I'm
AFC?
going for the Bills, baby. I want to see the Bills in the Super Bowl.
Yeah. For me, my Sancho teams of the AFC are going to be both Cincinnati. You know, are we picking the Sancho team today?
My Sancho team is going to be the Texans, but you know what? I secretly root for the Bills because I got a no dog in the fight. They're a fun team to watch, man. I always wanted them to come out and get to the Super Bowl. They've been to the big dance. They just never won it, you know, when they were going against the Cowboys. But it'd be interesting to see the Bills come out and, you know, have a shot in the Super Bowl.
Right. That's a big storyline because we remember growing up back when the Cowboys were winning Super Bowls, they oftentimes would beat the Buffalo Bills. The Buffalo Bills were in back-to-back 4 in a row Super Bowls that they lost all 4, right? Jim Kelly never seen the promised land. And it's interesting. It kind of reminds me of like the Thunder winning the NBA Finals, knowing that in the past they had Harden, Ibaka, you know, Westbrook and Durant in you know, so you're looking at the Bills. You have to believe that Josh Allen's going to make it happen at some point, right? But look at the quarterbacks that you have in the AFC. I mean, just off the top of my head, you have Mahomes, Burrow, Lamar, you know, CJ Stroud. You got Josh Allen. You've got a rising quarterback in Justin Herbert. That's just in the AFC. The NFC, what do you got? Jordan Love? What do you got? Caleb Williams? Jared Goff? What do you got? Dak Prescott?
He's only
Matt
good during
Stafford,
the regular season.
Brock Purdy. The AFC is so difficult to get through. You know, Burrow may never make it to the Super Bowl ever again. Josh Allen may never make it. Lamar Jackson has been struggling to make it to get over the top.
The biggest hurdle for the Bills has been the Chiefs.
Right.
You know, and I think this year, given the caliber of team that you have in the Chiefs, they're on the decline. They're ripe for the picking, man.
They are.
And I think if the Bills meet the Chiefs again, they're going to be able to get over the hump this time. And they're pushing themselves. They're going to punch their ticket all the way to the Super Bowl.
Something always happens, Joe. And that's something that always happens.
It's the same thing that happened with the Spurs, right? Back in the day. Could never get past the Lakers. And lo and behold, what happened? Once they got past the Lakers in that lockout season, the rest was history. They went on to win their first chip, right? Behind Timmy Theodore Duncan, right?
Joe Burrow's so good, Joe.
But he's playing on a bad team, bro. His defense is garbage.
Joe Burrow.
That brother's running for his life, Mike. His O-line don't hold.
He still threw for almost 5,000 yards, Joe.
He's running for his life, good. Mike. It's only going to get worse if he makes the playoffs. The brother's going to get injured, man.
Now, they improved the offensive line a little bit. They got one
They're
additional guy over
garbage,
the past couple
Mike.
weeks. They got a new starter this past couple of weeks ago. Um, they've improved a little bit on the offensive line. They have the best. I mean, dude, Jamar Chase is the best wide receiver in all of football right now. He is. Justin Jefferson's probably 2. Hey, what schools did they go to, Joe? Both went to LSU. Imagine that, Joe. There was a college team where they had Joe Burrow as quarterback, that national championship team. Joe Burrow as quarterback, tossing it to Jamar Chase and Justin Jefferson. That was not fair.
Yeah.
But I'm just looking at that team, and I'm thinking to myself, how do you beat that guy? Because that guy is not afraid of Kansas City.
Yeah.
Buffalo is afraid of Kansas City. Baltimore's afraid of Kansas City. Joe Burrow is not afraid of Patrick Mahomes. He's not afraid of that Chiefs defense. The Chiefs are going to take a step back this year. I don't know. I'm not a believer in Aaron Rodgers and the Steelers. Not a believer in that as well. I think the come up is going to be the Texans. I think the Texans are going to be better than they were last year. Chris Gonzalez saying the Burrow line is like our flooding system.
I'm telling you, they're garbage, bro. Garbage. Hey, somebody sent us something via the media share, man. This is funny. This is they said this is Mike asking Chica for money.
I gotta go.
Wait a minute.
What?
I wanted to go shopping. Can I get some money?
How much do you need? How much?
That much.
What? Here.
This much.
Here.
Give me this.
Here. See you later.
Man, I hadn't seen that movie in forever, man. I've seen Goodfellas before, but man, it's been 30 years.
Mike asking for some money from Chica. And then somebody sent us their predictions as well, since we're talking about NFL predictions. This is funny because they put a Chat GPT predictions out here. And I'm gonna go ahead and share this on screen because it's kind of funny. They said they asked Chat GPT here, right? Go ahead and predict the next 50 Super Bowls. And look at what they have. Cowboys in 2034.
Hey,
and then again in 2065. A 30-year drought. It's like, come on, man. Oh, God.
Why do they have the Spurs in 2043?
Where is it? I don't know. I don't know why. Let's see. They did another one. And it's the same thing. It's the same thing. But that was funny. They have the San Antonio Spurs. And it says 2059 because they're it's like a bull on there. Like if it was San Antonio had an NFL team. Maybe they're trying to predict what's going to happen in the future, Mike. This is a good segue. Talk about Gina Ortiz-Jones.
Over her dead body is what she would say.
Yeah. You know what she's going to do? I was listening to her yesterday because she went on KSAT 12, right? And they were talking about flood control because, of course, we had a lot of rain that fell in San Antonio on Sunday, had some flash flooding. And unfortunately, 2 people lost their lives, But the thing is, they said they haven't released the findings of the study or the survey they had done when all those 13 people tragically lost their lives earlier this year and that flash flooding that we had here in San Antonio. Until I was listening to Gina Ortiz-Jones, and she was saying, "Oh yeah, that study, we're going to release the findings here soon." And my ears pop up. I said, "Wait a minute. She's talking right now to KSAT about flood control, right? Trying to go ahead and say, hey, we could use the money somewhere else, lying to the people again, kind of insinuating we could use this money for flood control. We have a lot of other things we got to do." Basically, she's spinning it her versus Spurs. And they even had like an impromptu anti-Project Marvel campaign that happened over the weekend on the steps of City Hall there. The mayor wasn't involved in that, but she's going on a KSAT and she's saying, oh yeah, the findings from that, her investigation, the investigative findings from that flood that happened when those 13 people died going to be coming out here soon. I bet you they're going to come out right before the vote. I said, well played, Gina. Well
Well,
played, Gina.
you
Okay, I
know,
see what you're doing.
Joe, I have come to the conclusion in speaking with people because I thought San Antonio, being a Spurs fan, Spurs centric city, would be excited about Project Marvel. And you and I have both said a foregone conclusion. Don Harris has said that on News for San Antonio. A lot of people have been saying that it's a foregone conclusion. Joe, the more I talk to people, especially those that are young, I hate to say this, Joe, young people don't care about the Spurs.
They don't care about sports in general. They want to go out and they want to have fun. Do you know what they like? They like those little pop-up events, like
Yeah,
having a DJ at the Pearl, that
yeah,
Airstream sound screen that they have, where they have the DJ and that little Airstream travel trailer, and they just set up shop on, during the middle of the weekday on a Wednesday or Tuesday, and he's just spinning music. He or she's
right.
spinning music, and they just go out there and they just sit on the lawn and they enjoy that. They go to the food truck and they get their food, they get a drink. That's what they like.
Joe, 18 to 35 don't care about the Spurs.
No,
They
no.
don't care about the Spurs. They don't
You know
care
what else they don't
about,
care about, Mike? They don't care about buying homes.
well, they shouldn't. I wouldn't buy a home if I was their age
They
because
don't care about that.
it's too expensive. They got priced out. Boomers ruined everything. But 18 to 35, San Antonio, they don't care about the Spurs at all. Like we see the Spurs as 99, 03, 05, 07, 2014, Kawhi, leaving town, the Tim Tony Manu years, the pop, all that stuff. That is sports porn for those who are 45 and older.
Yeah.
And then you have this other segment, Joe, of those who are sports fans who don't want the city to progress. You also have a segment of society that's just straight up poor and doesn't want the city to have nice things. Joe, Project Marvel might fail. And at that point, what the Spurs need to, what those who are supportive of Project Marvel need to do is say, you can't say that you want the Spurs or that you want them to stay here and that you want them to fund the arena fully. I went back and forth with somebody on Facebook about this yesterday. There's only one team in the NBA that fully funded their arena. That's the LA Clippers. Every other team is a private-public partnership. And if you're going to say, and if you're going to say that this team needs to fully fund their arena, guess what, Joe? Why would they be in San Antonio? What's the appeal or the draw of being in San Antonio if they have to fully fund their arena? Because guess what, Joe? You're going to fully fund your arena? Better to be in Seattle. Better to be in Las Vegas. Better to be in Nashville. Better to be in other cities than San Antonio. San Antonio residents are going to F around and find out that the Spurs have been playing nice about it all this time. They're going to have that rally for the support of things, the campaign kickoff.
Win together is what it's called. Win together.
That's great. Caps 210 says, I'm 33 and love the Spurs. Stop. Caps, you're the minority in your age group.
I think it's the opposite, Mike. I think the younger people don't really care too much about the sports nowadays, but the people that are older, if like they were saying too, if you're above the age of 25 and up, you have a history, a connection here with the team, right? If you're below that age, you don't really care. And the problem is that the young people in the community don't go out and vote, and neither do some of the other people that are our age. It was a low voter turnout when they were voting for the mayor, and look what happened. People are now discontented with what Gina Ortiz-Jones is doing. Well, they didn't like what she's doing. They should have went to vote. Your vote matters. When you think, oh, it's only one vote, it doesn't matter. It does matter in the context of things. It does matter. People need to stop being lazy, go out there and vote.
It does matter, Joe. And here's the thing. People are coming in our chat, Jordan and Cap, saying, hey, I'm in that demographic and I love the Spurs. There is a segment of Spurs fans, Joe, who don't want Project Marvel. It's the same
ones that say one thing, Mike. And this is the thing that I'm talking about as far as when it comes to being educated about the topics. what do you see on the social media, on Facebook, on Instagram, on the X? What's wrong with the arena they have now? There's nothing wrong with it. It's perfectly fine. They can play there again for the next 30 years. These are the ill-informed people that are making these decisions. And they're the ones that are going to be the most vocal and don't go out and vote. They're like, well, they can keep on playing there. There's nothing wrong with that location. They don't even go to games. They're the
Right.
same people that say, oh, I can't afford to go to a game. It's too expensive. Have you looked?
And
No.
what does that have to do with the issue? I can't afford it. You know
Not
what?
my fault.
I can't afford a Ferrari, but I'm not pissed off that there's a Ferrari dealership on 1604 and I-10. It doesn't piss me off. It's like that's your opposition. I can't afford it. Then go fucking make more money.
Stop the cap.
Make more money, Mike. Oh, bro, you with your Miguelito face there. Oh God, man.
Joe, I mean, I don't understand this, Joe.
You got the Razor Ramon going for you right now, bro. That little curly that's coming down.
Joe, I told Chica this last night was like, her kids are graduating from college this year, right? They graduated with their bachelor's degree. They're gonna get their master's, and she wants to do something nice for them, so she wants to take them on a trip. And it started off with being a small trip, and then it became a bigger trip, and now it's a big trip, and now it's like, oh, by the way, Michael, you're paying for it, or we're paying for it together. And I just told her, I said, look, we just got to make more money. She goes, yeah, I can work on my days off. I'm like, yeah, I can go get another 2 or 3 more clients. Just go make more money. Like I don't understand the concept, Joe, of I've been broke in my life because of debt, because of divorces, and their failed business. There's reasons to be broke, right? But I've never been one to ever not go make money. I wake up every day with 2 things: a heart on and a desire to make money.
Bro, you killing me today, man. Like, what's wrong with you, dude? Did somebody see what they said about you? Mike's hair is receding from the back to the front. How does the back look, bro? Is it still the same? You got the Razor Ramon going on right now.
Yeah, it's getting there. Like, I'm glad I got Chica the way that I got her, dude. Whoever cut my hair last time sucked, dude.
Mike is wild today, dude. No shit, man.
Well, I mean, Joe, it's like, if I want something, I gotta go get the money for it.
You see, this is the thing that's funny when you say that. Just go make more money, make more money. You know what? It's hard for people sometimes to make more money because of their situation, right? So, for example, if you got a single mom out there doing the best she can, right? And she's out there getting, just scraping by. How is she going to make more money when she has to take care of her kids? She's got to pick them up from school, drop them off.
Well,
how is she going to make more money?
Now we're talking about circumstance, Joe. I mean, there are some people who legitimately have reasons to not be able to be successful, right? But there's some people who just pissed their life away, Joe. There's some people who show no ambition. I am empathetic and sympathetic to those who have issues because of, there's a death in the family, that they were, that because they were in abusive relationships. There are legitimate reasons to not be in a good place socioeconomically. The people that I'm talking about, Joe, are the ones that don't have that. Those are the people I'm making fun of. Okay. The ones that have no ambition, but they have nothing to stop them from being more successful. Those are the ones I'm talking about. They should just go make more money.
What is you gonna?
Yes, I
Get
understand
that excerpt from the Kanye song. Get that ambition in your eyes. Oh
yeah,
gold digger.
Yeah, he's got that ambition in his eyes.
Oh, Mike, you're on one.
He's gonna make a Benz out of that Datsun. It's a great line, dude.
Mike, what's wrong with you today, bro? You changed from Mike to Miguelito. As soon as I changed it to Miguelito,
Yeah,
you got wild, bro.
as soon as I started getting bad haircuts in Conroe, dude, I'm gonna have to grow this out, dude. Got a cul-de-sac building up.
Yeah, but this is gonna get ridiculous before it gets any better. You know, you're gonna have Gina knows what she's doing because she's still spinning it as the city, the county versus the Spurs. It's bigger than the Spurs, and her stupid ass will not go out there and acknowledge that this is it's as impactful, like I said, as the World's Fair was. This is bigger than the San Antonio Spurs or just a new arena downtown. This is about a sports and entertainment district. If the people were better informed, they might make a better decision and understand fully what Project Marvel means. And better in that way, if they have all the information, as I said, presented to them, they can make a decision based on what they feel they want. You know, and that's all it is.
Yeah.
It's up to the people to decide what they want to do. Some
Well,
people don't want to go ahead and use that money or don't want that. And usually it's the ones that are like 60 to 70 years old that are really old, like they were saying in the chat. They want to keep San Antonio the way it is. But the same
well,
thing happened with the World's Fair too. When that came in, a lot of old heads didn't want progress, you know?
we if the decision was made without disinformation, I'd be okay with it, Joe. But that's the thing, is that Gina Ortiz Jones is purposefully sending out disinformation. And no one's calling her out on it, Joe. There's nobody at council who says, Mayor, what the F are you talking about? You're lying to these people. There's no one calling her out. And because no one's calling her out, this gets to spread, right? And you have a lot of those who are like, oh, well, I want it to be like the old days. I wanted, I want the city to be poor. I want the city to have no entertainment. I want the city to be whatever. Just come out, Mayor Ortiz Jones, and come out and say that you don't want the fucking Spurs here. Just fucking say it. Just say it. Because your actions speak louder than words, right? Her whole
She hates the Spurs.
She hates the Spurs.
She hates
Joe.
the Spurs, bro. She don't want no progress
And
here.
you know what? The Spurs hate her back. And when
They won't
Sean
come out right
Elliott,
and say it, but you can tell.
when Sean Elliott did his plea, what the Spurs should do is take that clip, turn it into a commercial. Take that clip, play it on the radio. Take that clip, because you can galvanize behind all that. And Joe, the Spurs start the season 2 weeks before the vote. Get a few wins behind your belt, Joe. Get a couple of home wins. Get the city excited again. And the idea of, well, they haven't won. They haven't been winning lately. Well, shit, they won 5 championships in 25 years. They deserve it. Name another NBA team that has 5 championships since 1999. I'll wait.
Yeah.
You know, it's so stupid, man.
You know what? Look, Leha says some people need context, you know, in this world, if you ain't what you know, but who you know, and there's some truth to that, you do need contacts, people with connections in the right places. But, one of the things too, that the city, I think would do best to do with Project Marvel and whatnot is to keep the construction of it local. Like give it out to local businesses here, like MCS General Contract. They wanted to go ahead and enter the fray and lay down some concrete, that diamond hard concrete there. They should be able to do so. But again, it's always going to go to the lowest bidder, and you have to go ahead and throw your name in the hat and hopefully you win. But I don't know, just maybe trying to keep things puro, trying to keep it local here, have more people involved here locally instead of outsourcing things. I think would make more sense.
We start talking about it as an arena for this and the Spurs and all that stuff. Just talk about the jobs being generated on this thing. Like, if the Spurs came out and said, here's the number of companies that we need to hire for concrete placement, for steel work, for construction, for electricians, for plumbing, for all that stuff, Joe. Be amazing.
Yeah, and you see, Leha brings up a good topic. That's exactly what I was thinking too. He says the construction won't be local. They're going to be allocating 30% of the work to local companies, but the company that wins the overall contract will be out of state. He's not lying.
He's not lying, but it also depends on what you're doing, right? I mean, concrete placement is a different animal than HVAC, right?
Yeah.
But you look at it, and there are only certain companies that know how to do that type of work for that big of a project.
Well, they don't want to get the company that put the AC in the frost center because
Yeah.
that broke.
But Joe, have we gone over the top 10 in the college football? We were talking
No,
about
we have
UT,
not, but we're going to go ahead and get into that discussion here next as well,
because I'm looking at.
because
Yeah, go ahead.
we have the poll that came out here, and this is courtesy. I'm sharing it courtesy of Fox Sports, and this is their official college AP poll. So let's go ahead and share that on screen. Everybody can see how far did the Longhorns fall, man. Look at this. Number one, they were number one for 1 week after that loss to Ohio. Where did the Longhorns fall? Number 7.
They fell.
Now
to
they're
7.
behind Oregon. They're behind the Ducks at number 7. I said if they were in, at least if they fell all the way to 10, it's going to be harder for them to go ahead and get into that top 5 spot. At number 7, they're in striking distance. I think when everything's said and done, Longhorns best that they can hope for is going to be 4 or 5.
So, Joe, I'm looking at this right now, and it makes perfect sense to me that Ohio State is the number 1. Okay,
It does.
because they're the national champions. They beat the number 1 team coming into their crib, and they did it convincingly. Yeah, it was a one score game, but they held the Longhorns scoreless for 3.5 quarters. Ohio State number 1, I have no issues with. Penn State at 2, however, congratulations, you beat up on Nevada. Okay, you beat up on Nevada. I'm looking at LSU and Miami as having gripes against Penn State, because LSU, going into the number 4 ranked Clemson Tigers team, going into their crib, beating them on the road, and then Miami knocking out Notre Dame in a big rivalry game to start the season, in a very, very, very close game. I look at those two teams as having more superior type of performance compared to what Penn State did. Penn State played a nobody. But if you're looking at the top 10, you've got Ohio State number 1, Penn State at 2, LSU at 3, Georgia at 4, Miami at 5, Oregon at 6, Texas at 7, Clemson fell to 8, Notre Dame fell to 9, South Carolina at 10.
Yeah,
Then
the
you have
Gamecocks.
Illinois. You have Illinois. Look at the Illini at 11. Arizona State, Florida State, Michigan are 11 through 15. 16 through 20 are Iowa State.
Where's Alabama?
The ponies of SMU. But when SMU's ranked over Alabama, that's funny. Oklahoma,
They're ranked
A&M,
higher than
Ole
Texas
Miss.
A&M.
And then you've got Bama, Tennessee, Indiana, Texas Tech. Look at Texas Tech coming on in, beating Arkansas Pine Bluff.
Who?
And then exactly. And then the Utes at number 25. Joe, it's funny trying to list out the top 25 without seeing the names. Just look at the logos. That's how you know I like sports, Joe. I can just look at the logos and know who they are.
Number
Hanover
7.
Fist, yeah.
What do you say?
Hanover Fist says Matt Patricia had a spy at UT practice, bro. No. It's that homeboy was a deer in headlights when it came to it all, man.
God.
Arch Manning. And now who they got? Who the next 3 games, man? Sam Houston State, San Jose State this weekend.
They're gonna run over them, bro.
Then they've got, Sisters of the Poor. What kind of crappy lineup does the Longhorns have? Who they have? They have San Jose State, who they're favored by 5 touchdowns over this week. They have UTEP, who they're going to be favored by like 40 points over. And then they're going to be favored over 40 over Sam Houston State, which is, by the way, in the back, which is near Conroe over here. All home games, Joe.
Yeah.
I am not going to be impressed by anything the Longhorns do in the month of September.
Look at Joy-Con Drift King. He's saying number 7 is fine. He's talking about UT. Just stack up wins, stay under the radar, hit a stride at the end to make a run. And that's what I'm kind of saying, dude. I kind of said the same thing as well. At the end of the day, I think that the best the Longhorns can hope for is that 4 or 5 spot. I think that's probably where they're going to wind up. But the thing is, if they're at number 4 or 5, well, their path back to the championship game, would that be easier for them?
Well, I mean, they're lining it up for them to get 3 easy wins. I mean, if the Longhorns go 3-1 by beating UTEP, San Jose State, and Sam Houston State, they shouldn't move up 1 position at all. In fact, I would say going 3-1, they should slide down to 10 or 11 for playing just crappy teams.
I think they'll move up. If they win, they're going to move up. They'll probably get Oregon's spot maybe at number 6. And if they win the next 3 games, they'll probably stay 6 or 7. But they're going to have to beat a really good team in order to go ahead and get into the top 5.
Oregon had a first place vote, man. So
Yeah,
I mean, they're getting respect from somebody.
Yeah.
But let's look at this week's slate of games, Joe. Any exciting games in college football this week? So let's take a look at this.
Okay.
Penn State. Remember I said how I wasn't excited about Penn State jumping up to number 2? They're pulling at Texas because they have Florida International this week. Texas favored by 36.5 against San Jose State. Florida State coming off a big win over Alabama is going to take on East Texas A&M. I hate these types of games, man. SMU's hosting Baylor. Indiana hosting Kennesaw State. A&M against Utah State. This is all gross, dude. Ohio against Grambling. Ohio State's playing Grambling, Joe. You know how big of a spread this is? It doesn't even exist. They don't even have a spread on this game. They're playing Grambling.
Grambling State should get sued by Georgia, man. That logo's suspicious, man.
Georgia taking on Austin Peay. Oh, my God. Clemson taking on Troy. There ain't one good game in college football this year.
You got the Cowboys going up against Oregon, Oklahoma. Oh,
somebody tried calling me out on Twitter yesterday saying, well, look at LSU. They have three cream puff games on their schedule. And I pointed out that 2 of those teams made a bowl game last year. But, I digress.
Well, you have one game coming up here on the 6th, September the 6th here. Michigan and Oklahoma.
I mean, if it was the mid-90s, I'd be excited about it, But now, I'm all right.
Yeah, all right. No.
I'm all right. And we had a comment coming in from Jeff Garcia from Locked On Spurs and Ken's 5 talking about what we were discussing when it came to the Spurs arena. He had Councilwoman, I believe her name is Kaur.
Yeah.
On his show the other day, talking about it all. And I just look at this as being highly suspicious of Mayor Jones. Highly suspicious because she's lying. She's an effing liar. And somebody needs to call her out on that. And not like in the sense of well, Your Honor, I think that you're being disingenuous about, no, not professionally. Not like you're writing a professional email to somebody. Just say, you're an effing liar.
Maybe she could get Puro. Give her another interview.
Yeah.
Hey, we got an incoming super chat we got to address here.
Here comes the money.
And this is a $5 super chat incoming from Sam.
Sam Salinas. Saying he wants the old grito for UT Hopes dying in week 1. Overrated. 20 years of nothing. Cowboys of college football, he says. Same hype, same fam, same results. Ooh, he's saying something that my daughter said the other day because she's an LSU grad. She said horns down. Give him that grito. He paid for it.
And what grito does he want? The old man grito.
The
All
old
right,
man.
You got it.
Presumir a mis amigos les conté que en el amor.
Oh, I miss that guy tremendously. The old man. He does it for me.
OG.
Mark Vossos is saying, did you hear Fernandez and Gino Ortiz Jones, John J. Mustangs beat Mike's Holmes Huskies last Friday? I like the fact that people were like, ha ha, Jimenez, your Holmes Huskies lost to J High School. Joe, I haven't given 2 craps about Holmes High School football since 1995, Joe. The second I walked the stage, I stopped giving a crap about Holmes High School football. They can go 0-10, which I believe they have recently gone 0-10. Who cares? Dude, if you're excited about your high school football team, and you're 30 years removed from high school, It's got to be an issue, Joe. Unless you have a kid who plays there or you know somebody who's playing. I have no friends who have kids that are playing at Holmes High School, so I don't care. And even if they did, my client is a coach for J High School football team. So one of the coaches over there. So you don't know how to come at me, man. That's not a way to get me all pissed off that Holmes lost football. No kid. Holmes lost at football, and guess what? Water's wet.
You said everything to him except cry harder, ho. I mean, come on. Come on, Mike. Mike, I don't know what's wrong with you today, bro. You're on one, man.
I wasn't mentally prepared for the show, Joe, because normally I have a system. You know, I sit down, I brace myself. What are we going to talk about a little bit? We have a little bit of conversation. And then that phone call came in at 9:53, and I'm like, oh, my God. And he's like, and another thing, and another thing.
We got somebody sharing something with us on the media share. And they were saying that
Uncle Rico.
Manning throws like Uncle Rico. They got this
throwing grenades. Dude, you knew that something was wrong. The first pass attempt that he had, roll out to the right, receiver wide open, and he was 2 yards short. Not even at his feet. He threw the ball 2 yards short of his feet. And it's like, can we talk about something about Eli Manning, about Arch Manning?
What?
His throwing motion sucks ass. That sidearm crap, that ain't an NFL arm. Throwing sidearm? Okay, I know we see that from Patrick Mahomes and occasionally from Josh Allen. But the whole flinging the ball this way, that's not going to work in the NFL because everybody on the NFL defensive line is 6'5". What is he doing throwing sidearm throws? And now I understand if you're rolling out of the pocket like Mahomes and you sidearm it to kind of get around a defender, or you're rolling out and that's just the way that your body functions while you're running. I get that. But he sidearms in the pocket for no particular reason. That's an awful throwing motion. That is the Sean Marion basketball three-point shot attempt throwing motion for a football player. He looks like trash, Joe.
Hey, you know what? We're going to talk about something here that was a hot topic earlier. But I was going to get your opinion on this. Look at what Roger Goodell said. And this is courtesy of Front Office Sports. Roger Goodell was asked if a Taylor Swift Super Bowl halftime show was in the work. His answers, it's a maybe.
It's a maybe. She's been leaving out the Easter eggs on it. She's calculating when it comes to it all. The Eras tour was over. It was too early to do it last year because her tour had just ended. It would be the biggest Super Bowl of all time. You could have the Jacksonville Jaguars
better than Prince
take on. Well, no, I'm not saying it's going to be the best. It would be the biggest. It would be the most watched Super Bowl of all time, simply because she's there taking part in it.
You'd be up for that, Mike. You'd be up there dancing and everything, singing the songs.
Well, dude, Chica does a fantastic impersonation of Taylor Swift singing, man.
Oh,
does a fantastic. Did I send you that one TikTok? And it's. Did I send this to you yesterday? Let me see, Joe. This is so funny. I know I sent it to Jason Garcia. I'm gonna send it to you right now. And it's a bit crude. It's a bit crude, but it is what it is. So play this TikTok, Joe. I'm sending it to you right now. And please tell me if you've seen this. This is a fantasy football TikTok about funny team names. And you mentioned Taylor Swift, so it reminded me of this.
Let's see.
This is hysterical, Joe. And the music behind it is what made it good, dude. It's what made it good. And no, it's not about Taylor Swift.
I'll go ahead and share this. I'm going to go ahead and bring it up here on the screen. There we go.
Know that if you drafted the Packers quarterback, the Bears running back, and the Colts running back, you can name your team I Love Taylor Swift. And that's cute. I also know that if you draft the Buccaneers tight end, the wide receiver off the Cowboys, and the wide receiver off the Seahawks, you can name your team Cotton Picking Nick.
Oh man, Mike.
Jackson Smith and Jigba.
Damn, Mike.
He's
Trying to get
wild.
us. You trying to get us canceled already, bro? Like, what are you
No,
doing?
it's funny. It's funny.
Miguelito, you're Miguelito today, bro.
It wasn't a white guy saying it, Joe.
Mike trying to get us canceled, man. Look, it's an NSFW show today.
Chica dressing up as Taylor Swift. Chica can't stand Taylor Swift.
She's gonna fight Taylor Swift. Hey,
But
you know,
but she will say this, Joe. She doesn't like her music at all. She might like one or two songs, but she doesn't like. She's not a fan at all. But she will say this though. She does like the pairing of Taylor Swift with Travis Kelce. Like she does not believe that it's manufactured or anything like that. She's like, no, that's a legit couple right there.
yeah. So one of the things that I was gonna get at here that I think we should kind of dive into a little bit is the Kawhi Leonard debacle.
Yeah. So explain what happened.
So what's going on here is that there was some implications here that broke out earlier this morning. I got this courtesy of JC, friend of the show here on the X, and basically, what you had this report that came out on a podcast, and that was by Pablo Finds Out, right?
Yeah. Pablo Torre.
Pablo Torre Finds Out. So basically, what he was able to do is he was able to follow the paper trail, and what he found out is that Steve Balmer, the Clippers owner, he went ahead and funded a fraudulent tree planting company by giving $50 million, and $28 million of that was an endorsement deal. That money was paid out to Kawhi Leonard to basically do nothing. So it's a way of getting around the NBA salary cap.
Yeah.
So he has all the information there, all lined out. And I'm sure the NBA will do an investigation of some kind. But the thing is that stuff like this is ongoing, I bet. It's rampant probably through the world of professional sports, not only in the NBA, but NFL, anything else that's going, the professional sports out there in any capacity. This shouldn't be like groundbreaking, like, oh my God, look what happened. Kawhi Leonard. Yeah, he got implicated.
Joe,
you can see the paper trail, but this is stuff that's been ongoing, dude. Even in college football, before
Joe,
players had their NIL deal.
This is prevalent in college sports, but to say that it's a thing in the NBA or the NFL,
it is.
I don't think it is, Joe. I think that I think that this is something that's a lot different because I just think that he got found out, and I can't see the Spurs doing this to pay Wemby under the table. I can't see any other team doing this. I honestly believe, and I want to believe, that this is an isolated incident involving a rogue team. That's what I want to believe.
What are going to be the implications for this? Because
he should be suspended. He should be suspended for at least 1 year.
This is what happens, right? NBA penalties for cap circumvention, right? And this is courtesy of Sam Quinn. Fine of up to $4.5 million for the first offense. Fine of up to $5.5 million for a second offense. Loss of 1 first-round pick. The possibility of voiding contracts that involved circumvention. Now, if you, like I said, if you get Silver involved and he looks at everything, I guarantee what's going to happen if they find, that all this information that's being said and pointed out here is legitimate and true. At some point in time, you're going to have Kawhi being suspended for X amount of games, to make an example.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, how is that going to really hurt the Clippers? The brother sits out most of the games anyway,
But he's missing games, but to be suspended means suspended without pay.
True enough, but I mean, he's got that fraudulent tree planting business he's going to draw the money from.
Well, no, you wouldn't be able to use that, Joe, because at this point, Joe, here's where the second layer that no one seems to be talking about. And thank you for bringing this up to me, Joe. Wouldn't the IRS want to know about this?
I'm sure they will. I mean, he's going to get taxed.
Did Kawhi pay taxes on this $28 million?
How much is he going to owe the IRS? Half?
Well, no, because if you didn't pay it and it was not given to you as a 1099 or a W-2, that's tax fraud. That's tax fraud from the receiver and the person who paid the money. If you're opening up a shell corporation, Joe, to do fraudulent things, that's fraud. That's tax fraud. That's racketeering. However you want to describe it, Joe. Because I'm sure. Because here's the thing: Balmer is the owner of the Clippers, but do you think he set up the LLC or the corporation by himself? No, he hired lawyers. He hired lawyers who hired people to file things with the state, and all that. That's a conspiracy of some sort. That's racketeering of some sort, Joe. This is a little bit deeper because if it's a shell company that does not exist, then fraud was committed somewhere.
How is this worse than players betting? You know, I mean, you have players that are also being implicated because they're placing bets and they're either covering the spread, you know, doing something seedy.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, there's a lot of things that are going on that are underhanded. You know, it's not just player salaries that should be implicated and looked at. I'm sure they're looking at the other things as well, but there's a lot of seedy things going on behind the scenes in professional sports.
I don't think to this capacity, Joe. I really don't. Hand of a fist says, bro, MJ not a lawyer, doesn't know what he's talking about. Dude, I take classes in anti-money laundering and how concealment and placement happen within money that gets funneled by shell corporations or gets funneled. It doesn't happen. Like Steve Ballmer isn't the one going online to make this happen. He's not filling out tax forms. He's not filling out the insurance forms himself, not filling out the regulatory forms himself. There's a lot of people that are involved in that, and that's a conspiracy to something, Joe. This is a little bit. I bet you this has more legs than what we think. It's going to be more than just a loss of this, that, and the other. Balmer's been in trouble before. The Clippers have been in trouble before with what's this? Donald Sterling, I think was his name.
Yeah.
So
we'll see what happens at the end. I'm sure, like I said, the NBA will open some type of an investigation in the matter, and we'll see the ramifications of said investigation come out here probably before the season starts. But
right,
you had some reaction here from the Yahoo Sports crew here, and this was Jason Fritz and Carolina on the Yahoo Sports Daily Show. So let's hear some of this.
Pablo has let the world know that he signed a $28 million endorsement deal for a, quote, no-show job with the fraudulent tree planting company funded by $50 million from Clippers owner Steve Ballmer. It's important. I watched this. I watched some of the video content. What they did is they basically signed this as a way to give him extra money without utilizing the salary cap. And it was discovered because this fake company went bankrupt. And when they went bankrupt, they had to show who they still owed money to. And one of the companies they still owe $7 million to happens to be a company owned and operated by one Kawhi Leonard. This is an egregious and obvious attempt to circumvent the salary cap by the Clippers. It's shocking, and the league needs to do something about it, Caroline.
Yeah, so and that's what I'm saying is that they're talking about what the implications could be as far as like penalties are concerned. They can drop the hammer more than just that, and the NBA could tell them to go kick rocks when it comes to it all, because when they do those rules, those rules, I don't think they envision this. I don't think they envision this type of egregiousness. And you might say, well, they have collective bargaining rules that say this and the other. Well, then they're just going to tell them we're going to go around it. Yeah, because if you're not going to play by rules, we don't have to play by rules, right? So I don't know. Kawhi's in trouble.
He's got some explaining to do. That's for sure, man.
Mario says, better call Saul.
Maybe he's going to call the Force.
Yeah.
Call old boy from the Force or call the Texas Hammer. You know, that stupid commercial with him and his son on top of that 18-wheeler. Call Jim Adler, the Texas Hammer.
We have offices in San Antonio, Houston, and Dallas.
Oh, it's ridiculous, man. But nonetheless, there's going to be something that's going to come out. You know, and I was also talking about, check this out, Mike. You missed this part. We had to go and say, rip to Stream East. Pour some out. We had to give them an old school grito earlier in the show. Now everybody's going to have to look at another site to go ahead and get their offerings, their pay-per-view offerings, because the feds finally shut them down, man. HSI, Homeland Security Investigations, and this was in conjunction with a whole bunch of other organizations across the world. They finally were able to go ahead and shut down all the servers that were housing Stream East. So Stream East is no more, but you can't keep streaming sites like this down. What will happen is that even though Stream East has been shut down officially, somebody else will arise.
Right.
This isn't going to end anytime soon. And if you know, you know. But I think what really contributed to the demise of Stream East here has been the advent of everybody going on social media and saying, well, I need a site. I want to watch the fight and I don't have the money. Oh, yeah, go check out Stream East. When you do things like this and it becomes popular, it's going to get shut down sooner rather than later. I was saying, like, if you know a site and hey, man, it's a good streaming site, what have you, keep it to yourself, or share it privately with your boys or something.
It's kind of hard to do that, man. I mean, no, people can't keep secrets, man.
Yeah.
I mean, shoot, I go on TikTok to watch boxing matches half the time because someone will post it up there, and I don't know how to do this and the other, dude. I don't understand the technology of this. Is me becoming older, Joe. Like someone says, "Oh, well, all you need is a VPN, and all you need is a this, that, and the other." And I'm like, you're speaking above my pay grade. I don't know what you're talking about. I'm just gonna go to a bar and watch it. If I want to watch a fight, I'll go watch a fight. I'll go make more money.
Back in the day,
you know what? I'll go make more money and buy the pay-per-view.
Remember how they used to have it? I think it's right around when COVID finally ended and everybody was coming back to the sports bars and whatnot. I remember at Twin Peaks here around the corner, if you wanted to watch a pay-per-view offering, they would charge you like $5 or $10, right? You're going to stay and watch the fight, you got to pay. And then they give you a coupon for like $20 or $15 off your next visit, and everybody would come back. And basically, you're watching the fight for free, but they want you to spend money there, right? So you would come back and you would get $10 or $15 off your meal of, I think it was $30 or something dollars that you were spending. So if you took somebody with you, I mean, you'd be getting a little discount. But I mean, that's what they would do back in the day. I don't think they charge anymore, but if you're going to go to a sports bar, the only problem with that is you got to get there early if you want to get a good seat. Because if you get there after a certain time, you're not going to be able to get a good seat, and you're going to be waiting forever to get seated. You're going to have to wait for something to open up at the bar. And it's not going to be something you're going to want to, like be sitting down and getting a good view of the whole fight and all that. You're probably going to be in the corner somewhere.
How much is pay-per-view these days anyway?
It varies. Like nowadays, a standard pay-per-view event are offering, I'd say it's probably somewhere in the neighborhood of like $89, $90 if you're watching it in, good HD there. And that's the thing that's happened. Like with UFC, right? They know that they're charging a lot for their pay-per-views. Same thing with boxing. What happened with UFC and that deal that they brokered with Paramount Plus now, which is going to be the new home for UFC fights moving forward, UFC is no longer going to charge for their pay-per-view, their marquee matchups. Now it's going to be included with your subscription. And I think that's the wave of the future. You shouldn't be charging for pay-per-views anymore because that's not what people want. Like, for example, Netflix, right? And they have the Paul fight, or they have these other fights that come out. Canelo fight going to be coming out. They're not charging you extra. It's included in your subscription already. That's what people want now. That's what's going to get the viewership. That's what's going to stop a lot of this, these sites like Stream East from illegally streaming. If you make it affordable all the way around, that culls that need for that, so you can go and watch it.
Maybe that's why I don't like MMA. I mean, don't get me wrong. If I'm at someone's house or if I'm at a bar and there's a big fight going on, I'll watch it. But maybe I've just been turned off by it because I don't want the paywall. It's just.
Yeah. And look, at everybody's saying the same thing. Pay-per-views are going the way of the dodo. Yeah, they should have gone the way of the dodo a long time ago. Even Hanover Fist is saying, Turkey getting rid of pay-per-views too, and WWE. WWE has been getting rid of the pay-per-views for quite some time now, ever since they've gone over with the Peacock. They weren't doing that. And even before then, when they had the WWE network, you were paying $1 price, and you were able to see the pay-per-view or the marquee matchups for free because it was included with your subscription. That's what's going to happen with boxing. It's going to happen with UFC. It's already happening now. Boxing is still the lone holdout. They're still charging
Right.
for pay-per-views. But even again, like I said, some of these other fights, you're not getting charged anymore. And that's what's going to happen. The pay-per-views are going to be a thing of the past, and these streaming sites, you're not going to need to go to them anymore because you're going to be able to pay $20 or $10 a month and still be able to watch your offerings that you want as far as the marquee matchups. So that's something that's in the works or has been transitioning for some time now. But Stream East is just one site. I'm sure there's going to be something else that'll pop up here soon.
Something illegal will pop up. But hey,
Yeah, exactly.
we forgot to give love to our friends over at PF Chang's La Cantera. It is
No,
Wednesday.
I did give them.
Oh, you did.
I
okay.
did.
Well, it's Wednesday Wines Day. Head over there for half off bottles of champagne and wine today. They have happy hour every day from 3 to 6 p.m. Go say hi to Sean over there at PF Chang's La Cantera. Go to that one, right? Joe, my number is 210-508-0369. 210-508-0369. If you have questions about retirement accounts, insurance planning, things like that, reach out to me, 210-508-0369. Apologies again for being late, but I had a client call that came out of nowhere, and it kind of took me out of pocket for a little while. Which, by the way, Joe, out of pocket to us, older people, is different than what out of pocket means to younger people. Find that to be weird, but it is what it is. But again, my number is 210-508-0369. Joe, I got to head back to the office.
Yeah.
And
as we
again,
end the show here, look at this, Mike. Spurs released this photo of Wemby over in Houston, this Johnson Space Center.
Oh, nice.
Wemby out there doing things, having fun. I want to see a picture of this brother in the gym.
Joe, come on, man. He knows he's gonna be a top 10
Mira
player.
Wemby, look at La Alien. He's an astronaut. Mira Wemby. He's over there at the Houston Space Center. Everybody gets all excited. Mira Wemby. This motherfucker ain't shown up in the gym in I don't know how long. I want to get excited. Show me a picture or video of Wemby. Man, F all that, dude. That's stupid.
Wemby, we have a problem. We will be back tomorrow. Don't forget the UTSA Roadrunners take on Texas State, 2:30 at the Alamo Dome. I will be there probably about 10:30, 11 a.m. doing the tailgating. So come hang out with us. Joe, it's been a fun show. Tomorrow we'll be previewing the Cowboys versus Eagles as the NFL season kicks off. Let's see if we can have our good friend from the Texas Longhorns, Johnny Walker, join with us tomorrow. Yeah. I'll know more about that tonight. But everyone have a fantastic day. We'll be back tomorrow.
Yep. See y'all. Peace.